Thank you very much, Dr. Shailaja Taneja, for inviting me for such a very important session on health and wellness and talking about menstruation and related to hygiene and all. My sincere appreciation to Dr. Sania Siddiqui for giving such a wonderful presentation. I truly appreciate it. Also to Gloria, and thanks to Nicholas, you could not join, so we are sending our video, what we thought of speaking in the session. Since we are addressing to the children of Uganda, African nationals, youth, so first of all, I would like to say that this is very important to understand the importance of menstruation in the women, because menstruation is a natural and normal part of the female reproductive cycle. Yet it has often been stigmatized or treated as a taboo topic. In recent years, there has been a growing movement to break the silence surrounding menstruation and promote openness and education. A poem written 2 millennia ago in South India describes women as filled with anaku, a sacred power associated with sexuality that was considered particularly potent during menstruation. The Sangam era description, of Anaku is a precursor of the later concept of Shakti, divine vivifying female power. In one of the another state in India, in Andhra Pradesh, a girl who has attained puberty is called Pushpavati. The word is derived from Pushpa, flower, and it explains how a girl is becoming. It's like you are blossoming up. So this is how in some of the Indian states puberty is celebrated. The people must ask themselves how such rituals begin in some sections of our society when there were no talks about women empowerment at all. And if this custom is there in many states in India, why should not be celebrated throughout the country and throughout the world? Why can't we educate the masses? Can things ever change? There is a culture of silence in not only in India but in many parts of the world. So this status of women, despite the brave talks, remains as precarious as ever. No one talks why we let this happen. Why we constantly victimize women when it is not a biological routine that is part of a womanhood? Because Julia Jellinger has said menstruation is a vital sign of our health, like our pulse or our temperature. It deserves to be acknowledged, respected, and discussed openly without shame or embarrassment. Similarly, someone else has said menstruation is a natural and cyclical part of life. Embarrassing it, understanding it, and supporting women through it is essential for creating a more compassionate and equal society. So, puberty is a significant stage in human development, marked by physical and physiological changes, and different cultures around the world have unique ways of celebrating or recognizing this tradition. In many African countries, cultural practices and rituals are diverse, and celebration of poverty vary across regions and ethnic groups. It's important to note that customs and traditions can differ widely, and the information provided here, I'm giving some information to you. So it can have, it may not be covering the entire variations within any country or any community, but I'm giving some examples how the puberty are celebrated around the world. Like in Judaism, in Jewish tradition, the bar mitzvah for boys and bat mitzvahs for girls ceremonies mark the coming of age. The young person is recognized as morally and ethically responsible for their own actions within the Jewish community. In Latin America, in many Latin American countries, a girl's 15th birthday, known as a quinceañera, quinceañera, is celebrated as a rite of passage. The celebration often involves a religious ceremony, a formal reception, and the dances also. In Japan, there is a tradition of celebrating Seijin Shiki. Seijin Shiki is held on the second Monday of January. It celebrates young people who have reached the age of 20, marking their entry into adulthood. Participants often wear traditional attire, which is good. And coming back to African countries, in Zulu, South Africa, the coming of age ceremony is known as Umemulo for girls and Ukeshwama for boys. Umemulo involves rituals and festivities, and girls often wear traditional attire and receive gifts. Similarly, in Ghana, there is a tradition of krobos. In the Dipo ceremony among the krobos is a significant rite of passage for girls entering womanhood. It involves a series of rituals, including traditional dances and the wearing of specially crafted beads. Uganda, you must be aware, you are aware of it. Bagisu. In the Bagisu ethnic group, the male initiation ceremony, commonly known as Imbalu, that involves circumcision of as a symbolic passage from boyhood to manhood. It is a major cultural event with traditionally dances and rituals. I would love to hear more from you, Mr. Nicholas, and if you could give the how it is celebrated in Uganda culture. There are traditions, similar tradition in Ethiopia, in Nigeria. In Ethiopia, in the Amhara region,